Well, hello, dear ones. Thank you for joining me on yet another midweek meditation. I hope you enjoy these times together as much as I do. What a joy it is to be able to explore together the fascinating mind of God and to celebrate His love for each of us together. I've always been fascinated by architecture. The thought that goes into the design of even the simplest home is something we take for granted. But somebody had to figure out what kind of foundation to use, how to maximize the space, how to allocate the rooms, where to place the doors, decide how they will open so they don't interrupt the flow, how to integrate the electric, HVAC, gas, and plumbing, how many windows will there be and where. And then you have to make sure all of these decisions are congruent with building codes. And we haven't even talked about finishes yet. But it's not just all the detailed decisions that fascinate me. Home building is subject to trends, and the decisions about how to build a home or redesign a home reflect who we are as people and what we value. And the changes we see in home design are indicators of where society is going. Having recently been in the home market, I got to experience some of these trends firsthand. One of the things I noticed is that the formal dining room is going out of style. For many families, the formal dining room is the least used room in the house. So many newer homes just leave them out. Instead, less formal eating areas are included. Why build a formal dining room if it isn't used? It's just a waste of space. Today, when we invite people over for dinner, it will probably be a much more casual affair. And what does this say about us as a society? Well, it says we are less formal than we used to be. It says we prefer to socialize in a more relaxed fashion. It shows we are less concerned about etiquette and preferring to relate to others on a more familiar basis. Socializing is now less formal and more personal. Another home trend is the inclusion of media rooms. There's no mystery about what that means. Gone is the home library. We are obviously a media-obsessed society. No doubt you've heard about man caves. And although you sometimes hear about she sheds, it seems men in particular need some personal space just to kick back. Storage spaces, especially closets, have increased in size tremendously over the past few decades. Obviously, it indicates we own more stuff than we used to. But perhaps the most persuasive or pervasive trend, and the one I'd like to discuss at length, is called the open concept. By the way, I don't know why they call it a concept. It's more than an idea. It's a home designed with a minimum of walls in the main living area. This design was developed because those who often work in the kitchen feel cut off and isolated from others in the home. It's as if they were relegated to a workroom because others didn't want to see them toiling away. You see, in the not too distant past, cooking was servants' work, and servants were not included in the society of the home. As late as the 19th century, the kitchen was often built outside of the main house in a different structure altogether. This was done to isolate the main home from the fire hazards associated with the kitchen, but those who worked the kitchen were isolated as well. Even when kitchens were incorporated into the home, even when servants were no longer affordable, kitchens were still walled off and kept out of view of the main living areas. Slaving over a hot stove was not the way to entertain your guests. But cooking and kitchens have come a long way recently. Cooking is no longer a chore, no longer slave's work. It's been raised to an art form. And kitchens are being incorporated into the main living and entertaining areas of the home. Not only that, but kitchens are getting bigger. No longer the work of a single individual, cooking is becoming communal, a place where two or more are gathering to create a meal together. When the kitchen becomes part of the entertaining area, even your guests may be inspired to pitch in, not to share the work, but to share the fun. Cooking has been elevated from servants' work to a shared social activity. That's why the kitchen has been moved from a back room to the centerpiece of the home's social environment. And what does this say about us as a society? Well, I can't say for sure, but what I hope it means is a growing respect for those who serve. Just as preparing a meal has been elevated in the minds of people today, so too is the labor of those who serve us in many other ways. Every job has dignity. No labor is unworthy of honor. Everyone who contributes to the betterment of society, even through sweat and toil, deserves our gratitude and respect. The people who have to shower after work are no less honorable than those who shower in the morning. Jesus put it this way in Matthew 23:11, "The greatest among you will be your servant." Let's honor those who serve us. Always treat them with respect. And don't be afraid to roll up your own sleeves and be of service yourself. You may very well enjoy the experience, especially if you do it with someone else. And in heaven's eyes, service is the path of greatest honor. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you, and we will see you soon.